Okay, there we go. Oh, Facebook has been giving me fits lately. And I found out recently that I'm not the only one. So I'm trying to just grin and bear it. But I'm doing some training and some research into switching and going live on YouTube with possible streaming to Facebook. Possible streaming to Facebook. I haven't decided for sure, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be switching over and doing my lives from YouTube. And I think I will have more success and hopefully not as many changes as Facebook puts into place, and often unexpectedly. So thank you for bearing with me. Again, welcome to my Stampin' Piece studio. I'm Mary Knabe, and it is Thursday, April 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So on my last Facebook Live, I made some cards with you using the thanking you stamp set. It's one single photopolymer stamp. And what I did was use some designer series paper from the Timeless Plaid paper pack and showed you that this is an awesome stamp to use to stamp onto designer series papers. It's also easy when you're creating lots of thank you cards, or you just want to build up your stash of thank you cards to have available when you need them. After I made those for you, I showed you another set featuring the Mossy Meadow and some of the old olive colors. And I added basic beige to the Mossy Meadow cardstock. Gave you a tip on cutting very small sentiments without having to measure pieces. So this will be up on stampinpiece.com and my YouTube channel later today. Okay, I'll just say later today. I'm not going to give you a time. Today, we're going to be using that same stamp, but doing something differently. We're going to be embossing. So I'm pulling out my Embossing Essentials kit, something I love. So glad Stampin' Up! Came out with this. It's got the embossing tray, the embossing buddy to cut down on static on our cardstock, so we are not getting embossing powder in places we don't want it. Obviously, it doesn't come with a plastic spoon, but that's a helpful thing, and I usually keep that in there. Comes with a little brush if we need to brush away some bits of embossing powder. And it's got these reverse tweezers, perfect for crafting, holding on to. So this is sold as a set from Stampin' Up. Absolutely love it. You might be wondering, what in the world is this lid for? Well, this is so that when you are finished doing your embossing, you can direct all of your embossing powder down here, open up this spout, and then put it back into either your original containers, which is perfect for, perfectly fine for storing your embossing powder, or you can use something like a little plastic lidded container. And the reason I went to this is at some point I had several little containers of embossing powder and I decided to put them together. Now you can see I've used up a lot of that. So I am, and somebody just shout out a couple, well, not shout out, type in the comments a color, either Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, what's the next, Peach Pie, or Pretty in Pink. Okay, just say a color, and that's what I'm going to make with you. Thoughts? Oh, somebody has to have a favorite. These are the 2023 to 2025 in colors. Just tell me your favorite and type it in the comments. Summer Splash. Thank you, Vesta. That is this one. So that's what I'm going to use. And again, because this is a photopolymer stamp, I want to pull in my Stampin' Pierce mat here. Doris and Vesta, great minds think alike. Look at that. Tony, you're in there too. Isn't that funny? You guys must all be thinking about warmer weather. As I was saying, because this is a photopolymer stamp, meaning that we can see through it, you want to use something cushy underneath. I'm using the Stampin' Pierce mat. You might also use the silicone craft sheet. You could use an old mouse pad, something like that. Just something that there's a little give, a little cushion to. And the reason for that is, while these stamps are flexible, they're solid. Unlike the red rubber stamps, they have that little cushion built in. These do not. So if you use something like this, you get a much better stamped impression. So since I'm going to be embossing, I'm going to start by, I should say, heat embossing. I'm going to start using the Embossing Buddy from that Embossing Essentials kit. And it basically has like some kind of powder in it. I don't know, can't really see on my hands even. But what it does, it takes away any static from your paper, so that when we add the embossing powder should only stick to where we have our ink. So this is a rather large stamp, as you can see. So I find it easier with these large stamps to lay them on the table and then put the ink pad right onto the stamp. So the reverse of what we typically are doing when we're stamping. And I want to make sure this is good and inked up. The Versamark ink that you use for heat embossing is much stickier, it's tackier, it's thicker. It is not water-based. Okay, has a completely different texture. So I'm going to do that. Then I will open up my white embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle it right onto that DSP. And I'm even going to move it around. I like to go back and forth with the powder a little bit, just to be sure all of the inky areas are covered. And then just tap it out. And you can see, I really, other than a little bit where my thumb was, I don't see any embossing powder. Oh, I see a little bit right there. Spoke too soon. In fact, I might just be able to tap it out. Nope, it needs a little bit of a brush. Okay, so now I feel pretty confident that the embossing powder is only where I want it on that Versamark ink. So I'm going to move my embossing powder out of the way. Very, very important before I turn on my heat tool. And I'm actually going to use my reverse craft tweezers that come with that embossing kit to hold this. That way I'm not getting the heat too close to my fingers. I'm going to turn this on, and if you're only doing one heat embossing, or you're starting, maybe you're doing several, but you're doing the first one, it takes a moment for it to heat up. There's two settings, low and high. I typically do the high setting. And then I'm just going to kind of hold it at an angle towards that paper, and I'm just moving it in small circular motions. I'm not holding it still in one place. I want to move it just slightly, not a whole lot, because then it has to work too hard, but just very slightly. And as I'm doing this, you can see how that embossing powder is melting. Okay, go back. Oh, let's see, I missed a little spot there. Always go back over it and just make sure you got every little spot. It's a little extra insurance, I'll call it. And when it's all melted, it actually looks glossy, wet, okay? And then you're done. Let's do one more, and then I'll put the cards together. How many of you do heat embossing? I've got mine right here, but I feel like I really don't use it as much as I should. And the funny thing about that is I love it so much. Oops, I want to use my embossing buddy. Where did it go? Here it is, right in front of me. Again, I want to use that embossing buddy to take off any static on my paper. Oftentimes we're heat embossing on cardstock, right? Plain cardstock. But sometimes it's just really fun to do it on some designer series paper. And I think these patterns of our 2023 to, no, I said that wrong, 2024 to 2026 in colors really lend themselves well to embossing, heat embossing with this thank you stamp. And once you've inked that up, you do want to add your embossing powder pretty quickly here, okay? Now, if you're doing several, I don't necessarily always do just one at a time and move to the second and move to the third. Doris, I promise you, the Versamark will come back. I have been watching it, and I know many people already have it, and sometimes just need a reminder to use it again. I can double check after this live on our inventory status report and see if they have a projected date yet, okay? I know some people have also been waiting for the black Memento ink, and I have not checked yesterday or today to see if it's in yet. It was expected this week. Okay, and I don't see any powder where I don't want it, but I am going to go over this tea just a little bit, make sure I have a good amount of powder on it. But as I was saying, if you are doing several, you will be fine to stamp and add your powder and let them sit. Let, 3 or 4 of them sit, and then heat emboss all at once. What you don't want to do is do all the stamping and then go back and add the powder, because you're allowing some dry time of this Versamark ink. It won't dry fast, but you're still best off to get your powder on right after you put the Versamark ink on the paper, okay? My thumb was getting a little warm there. I should have been using my craft tweezers. I'll take a quick look. I think that looks good. Everything looks glossy, so I know all the powder has been melted. So isn't that easy? And I have to say, isn't it kind of like magic? I never, ever get tired of heat embossing. To me, it's neat, it's cool, it's fun every single time I do it. All right, so let's do, I'm going to do some white card bases, because we have so much of the color, I'm just going to do 2 white card bases instead of the Summer Splash card bases. So I've got my 8.5 by 11 basic white cardstock, scoring at 4 1/4 with it in the vertical position, turning to horizontal, and cutting it 5 1/2, and just like that, quick and easy, I've got my 2 card bases ready. So you can see how quickly and easily, oh, Kelly, thank you. Thank you for telling us, but I'm disappointed. Another 2 weeks waiting on these inks. Oh. But if you don't already have the Versamark ink and embossing powders, let me tell you, it's worth the wait, okay? It's worth the wait. It's such a fun and easy technique. And it's especially easy heat embossing when you've got a large stamped sentiment or large stamped image. There's not a lot of teeny tiny detail in this at all, and it's just so easy. Now, as you can see, as you're heat embossing, your paper might wrinkle or ripple just a little bit. It's not a lot. And if that bothers you, like here in these 2 areas, it's sticking up a little bit. If that bothers you, the answer is just to add a little bit more adhesive around the edges. And I'll show you the difference here. Because, you know, usually I just put small bits of adhesive in the 4 corners. Okay, so you can see the difference here. More adhesive versus less adhesive. Okay. How about if we do a little bit of embellishing? Is everybody loving these 2024, 2026 in colors? I have to say, this is probably one of my most favorite sets of in colors in the 16, 17 plus years that I have been doing Stampin' Up! Or using Stampin' Up! Products. Sharon, the answer to your question is Kelly is in the United States. So for that market, yeah, we're waiting on these products. Okay, now here's where you can mix and match. I'm kind of a matchy, tone-on-tone person when it comes to cards like these. So I'm going to use the Summer Splash embellishments. And I'm going to add those with my Take Your Pick tool. How many people have this? One of my all-time favorite tools. You've probably heard me say it before, but I guess I can't say it enough because it's so true. In fact, I have more than one. So I'm a little bit obsessed with this. And you know what? I'm going to add, I did a large and a small here, and I'm going to put one small one there. Now we have other embellishments and ribbons and trims that you might choose to use with these cards. So do what feels good to you. Do what feels right to you. Okay, several of you. Mary Lou Rolfus, I don't think I've seen you on for a long time. Nice to have you. Yes, I love these colors. They're bright, they're cheerful, they're fun. They kind of just feel happy, don't they? All right. Any questions about heat embossing? I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time, so I'm going to do the same thing because I send a lot of thank you notes. So I'm going to make these same cards, but in the other colors: Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink. So then I'll have a nice set ready to use when I need them. Okay, who would like to have their name put into the drawing to receive one of these cards? Anybody? Margaret, me too. Several, take your picks. I've got 2 right here with different tools on each. I did buy the other pack of accessories that I use occasionally, but then I also have a take your pick tool that stays in my tools that I keep packed up for when I travel and go to other homes or venues to craft. All right, if you would like your name put into the drawing to receive one of these cards, please type in the comments now, Embossing Buddy. Embossing Buddy. Okay, that's that little pillow with, I don't even know exactly what it's filled with. Some kind of powder, but it makes things more slick. Takes away any static on our cardstock and papers. So a nice thing to have, because then we don't get stray bits of embossing powder on our projects. Okay, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye. But first, thank you for joining me today. Couple of quick reminders that our new Stampin' Rewards program is in place as of 2 days ago, on the 15th. And it seems to be working well. I've had some orders come through, and those people can see their rewards that they've earned. So I'm excited about that, because I feel like we all are going to get to enjoy the rewards. You earn rewards on any Stampin' Up! Order of at least $20 in product. Make sure that you have a Stampin' Up! Account, which most of you watching do. If you need help with that, just contact me. I'm happy to help you. Even if you place your orders with me and not online, we're going to make sure you have your own Stampin' Up! Account. But I believe all of my customers do. In addition to that, when you get on, you will be asked if you would like to opt in to the rewards program. Please do that, because that is the only way you can earn Stampin' Rewards. And when you do that and are earning rewards, your account keeps track of all that for you. Super easy, okay? And I want all of you to be able to earn rewards, let them accumulate if you wish, and really take advantage of them and use them. I felt like there was another reminder. Oh, yes. As of Tuesday, and I will put this in a blog post as well, but if you are on my email newsletter, you would have seen that the current Bundle of the Month collaboration that I'm in with 15 other talented Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. This month it is on the, it uses the Textured Notes bundle. And there are 16 amazing cards with supply list and dimensions, cutting dimensions, as well as a quick video tutorial for each. And you can get that Bundle of the Month video class free when you place an order with me between now and April 30th. And if you haven't already placed an order with me this month, and your order, with that order of $75 or more, you're also going to get my monthly One Sheet Wonder PDF tutorial. Okay? Thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. If you celebrate Easter, may it be filled with love, laughter, and happiness, and maybe some treats from the Easter Bunny. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.